Hey, hey, keepers and tenders, good morning. I hope everyone is well. My name is Lynn Thompson. I am on Bunny's team and Alyssa's team, and I wanted to hop on here and talk to you a little bit about Reset. Reset was introduced last summer. It's a 3-day nutritionally based fast to help people reach their health goals. And I remember hearing about resets and thinking through what it would be like. And, you know, initially I thought, okay, that's cool. That'll help people lose their weight quickly. And then, they'll need to do it again in 3 to 6 months, something like that. But as time went on and I started doing reset, I realized that I had it all wrong. And so I just wanted to share with you a little bit about reset and about my experiences with it because I certainly had the wrong impression of it initially. So what is reset? Reset comes in this orange box, and each day, the 3 days, has its own box. And in each box, you have your um, supplements and food and beverage that you'll have for that day. You start out with our hydrate to get your body hydrated after a night of rest. Then you move into, I think lean is next. It's our yummy protein shake that fills you up and keeps you stable till almost lunch. Then you do our slim hunger control, which helps to keep your blood sugar balanced and, keep the hangries away. And then we go into our soups, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. It's a collagen bone broth and a tomato soup. And what I do is instead of using the bone broth for lunch and the tomato soup for supper, I mix them together and use half in the morning and half in the evening. And then after lunch, you have active. That'll give you a burst of energy and keep you going through the afternoon. Then we have our snack bar, our smart snack bar. It gives you something to chew and it has a good mouth feel. It also helps to keep you satiated until supper time. And then again, we would have that other portion of soup. And then at bedtime or late afternoon, you have Restore. Restore is a magical product. It really is amazing. It helps keep you full through the evening, but it also helps to detoxify your body. So the great thing about Reset, there's so many things, but one of the great things about Reset is it does help people get a hold of their weight goals. We're only supposed to say that in 3 days you can lose up to 6 pounds. Obviously, that depends on how much weight you have to lose. I have a friend of mine who just lost a significant amount of weight in 3 days. And it was so encouraging because she had been at a plateau for 2 years and she'd been working so hard. So Reset pushed her off the plateau and is certainly helping her reach her long-term goals. But y'all, if I could just reach into your hearts and tell you, honestly, it's about so much more than weight loss. I'm not going to lie. I love to hop on that scale the second day and go, I lost 3 pounds today. I mean, it really is encouraging. Um, and I'm not discounting the weight loss as a huge part of it, but there is something so much more valuable to me anyway, as a lady in my late 50s. One of the awesome things about Reset for me is that it helps me to refocus on food. You know, I spend a tremendous amount of time thinking about food, planning food, cooking food, eating food, cleaning up after food. Just a huge part of my day revolves around what I'm going to eat next. I'm just being honest. But when you're doing Reset and you have everything planned out, there's nothing to cook, or you heat up some water, but there's nothing that you have to plan or prepare virtually. you have a tremendous amount of time on your hands and you get a lot done. You really do. You can be very productive during that time. But after the 3 days is over, it's as if you have refocused your mind and your metabolism on how much food do you really need. I remember the first time I did reset, I thought, boy, day 4, stay out of my way. I am going to run to the kitchen in the morning and I'm going to eat all the things, that I've been thinking of or wanting. It just didn't happen that way. I woke up on day 4. I was not desperate or anxious to get to food at all. And I had a modest meal and had just so much more control over my portions. I think that's really where we as Americans go wrong. And I'm not going to start preaching here, I promise. But we go to a restaurant, we've got a plate the size of a football stadium. I mean, we've got these huge, huge portions, and it really does, I think, hamper our ability to maintain a good weight. And so whenever I did reset, I noticed for me personally, and I've heard this from other people too, you just don't need as much. You go back to your regular eating and you get to a point where you just don't want it anymore. And that's the truth. One of the biggest tests for me was Mexican food. I can eat fajitas and beans and corn chips every day of my life and be happy. And we had gone to a restaurant on Sunday after church, and I was in the middle of my meal, and it just lost its flavor. It just lost its flavor. And that's a huge win for me personally. I knew when my body was full, and I had the ability to stop. And it was not a Herculean effort. It was just what I needed to do. I didn't want it anymore. So reset, it does help in so many significant ways. I believe that it truly tunes up our metabolism. I believe that it truly detoxes our organs and help them function better, including our brain. I've done reset about 3 times now. One of the times I did it like once a week for a month, just one day a week. But I've done it about 3 times now overall. And one of the things that I notice every time is just a tremendous advance in mental clarity. I really, really appreciate that fact at my age that I can, have 3 days of resetting, and then I just have these tremendous, valuable uh, after effects that they keep lasting. One of the things that people have been talking about is whether or not it's water weight that you're losing, and are you going to just gain it right back after those 3 days? I can honestly and resoundingly tell you no. It is not just water weight. It is not something that you're going to pack on again. And one of the reasons I know that to be true is over the Christmas holidays, I did not gain any weight. None, not an ounce. I did not behave myself. I did not eat or drink special things. I enjoyed my family. I enjoyed the holidays, the celebrations. I'm not a big sweet eater, but I even had sweets over the Christmas holidays. But I just did not want to go headlong into all that. And so I would start eating something, I'd get my fill of it and move on. So that is probably the first time in my 57 years that I did not gain any weight over the holidays. And it was a tremendous blessing not to go into the new year with that extra weight and the guilt, that I always felt associated with it. I think some people may be afraid of the word fast. Are you scared not to eat? Because if you are, that's a pretty common thing. I know that it can be a little frightening to think about not eating for 3 days, but let me assure you, about every hour and a half, you will be consuming something. Are you going to be completely full and not want food? No, no, of course not. You are going to be hungry. for me, especially day 2 in the evening is usually about the time when I'm really thinking about a cheeseburger. You know, that's really when I'm wanting to eat something more, have something more substantial. But those 3 pounds that I lost on the first day, or the 2.5 pounds, whatever it usually is, it encourages me to hang on. And then generally, for me anyway, day 3 is just a breeze. You feel good, your body's working correctly. Um, our team, if you decide to do reset, let us know, and our team can give you some tips and tricks to help it go well, depending on what your goals are and what your routine is. We have all kinds of little things to encourage you, and Plexus will also, if you text them before you get started, they'll text you every day and encourage you. Reset is a tremendous value to me. I underestimated these products initially because I sort of thought it was going to happen in a vacuum. Like you would do reset, you would lose some weight. Of course, in 3 days, you'd lose some weight, and then that would be the end of it. I was so wrong, and I'm happily wrong because now I understand that the effects are cumulative. I know of one lady, Lisa, that she's done 5 resets since they came out, and she's lost 50 pounds. And she's was obese to start with, and she's lost 50 pounds. She's on track. She's feeling better, able to exercise, do all those things. And so the tune up to our metabolism and the impact that reset has on our organs and our brain, it keeps working even after the reset is over. So for me, I'm so excited to be able to offer this to my clients. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this. I've been doing Plexus now for 7 years. Excuse me. And what I noticed about Plexus early on is that they had a reputation as a weight loss company. But when I studied the products, because I'm a nerd, and whenever I looked at people's results, what I found was they were really a gut health company. That's really what they were. And weight loss is a side effect of a healthy gut. So for those 7 years, 6 years really, I didn't talk a whole lot about weight loss. Honestly, that was never my goal to begin with. I just wanted my life back. I wanted my health back. I wanted some energy. I desperately needed to get rid of brain fog that was choking me out every day. So for me, weight loss wasn't this huge focus. But I know now that so many people, if they could just get that 10 or 20 pounds off and start their metabolism again, it walks them into a whole new phase of good health. So I am proudly now waving the weight loss banner with these Plexus products because Reset works. It works in 3 days, and then it keeps on working. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat, put them in the comments below, and I'll be happy